so we're going to start with a magic circle. The magic circle, I personally do the following. I grab the yarn and create this like loop. Now I'm going to grab my hook and insert it in the loop, grab the yarn and pull it through, and then basically chain 1. So now I can let go of the loop and it's going to kind of untwist and face the other way. So now to start the circle and to make sure that it's seamless and flat, we're going to work something a little bit differently. Into the circle right now, you're going to work a single crochet. So 1 single crochet and a chain 1. This is going to be your first stitch. Now you're going to yarn over and do 9 half double crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And so essentially those 9 half double crochets plus the single crochet chain 1 that you did at the beginning, that's going to be a total of 10 stitches in this row. And now you can pull your circle tight to close it off. Now we're going to do a slip stitch into the first double crochet. So skipping the single crochet chain 1 that you did at the beginning and going into the top of the first double crochet with a slip stitch. Now you're going to pull up a little bit to make sure that you don't lose the yarn. You're going to insert your hook through the back of that double crochet you just went into. So you're going to insert your hook through the back and now into the loop here. You can use your hand to help you. And now you're going to basically pull this yarn to the back like so. And now you can remove the hook again and insert it so that you can work with it from the back. This is going to help your circle look seamless. Now we're going to work row 2. You're going to go into that same stitch and do a single crochet and a chain 1. That's the first stitch of this row. Now for this row you want increases, so you want 2 stitches in every stitch. This was the first one, and now you're going to do a half double crochet into the same space. And now you can do 2 half double crochets into each of the stitches of this row. At the end, you should have 20 stitches. So do that, and I'll see you at the end of the row. Okay, so I'm almost at the end of row 2 here, and I just want to show you so you don't get confused. If you count, well, I've counted my stitches just now, and I have 18. So I'm missing 2, and so don't skip that last stitch. It's kind of hard to see, but you want to make sure that you do your final 2 half double crochets into the last stitch of the row. And it's easy to skip it, so make sure that you don't. That's now my 20th half double crochet. So now to finish row 2, I'm just going to do a slip stitch into the first half double crochet of the previous row. So not the single crochet chain 1, but the first half double crochet. So into there, we're going to do a slip stitch to finish row 2. Now remember, to start every row, you're going to insert your hook through the back of that stitch you just went into. And now with your hand, you can grab the loop and put it into your hook, pull it tight, and now bring it to the back. And so this is where we're going to work from, again, to ensure that this is seamless. So now for row 3, you want to start with a single crochet chain 1. That's how you're going to start every row. And for this one, we want to do 1 stitch, 1 half double crochet, and then an increase. So this is the first one. So into the next stitch, you want to do an increase, which means 2 half double crochets into the same spot. And that ends the row repeat. You want to do into the next 1 half double crochet and into the next an increase. That's the row repeat. Do that until you get to the end of the row, and I will see you when you're there. All right, so at the end of row 3 here, you should have 30 stitches. Don't forget to make sure you go into that very last stitch. It's sometimes hard to see. And so now to finish this row, you want to do a slip stitch into the first half double crochet of the row. Not the single crochet chain 1, but the half double crochet. So you slip stitch there to finish row 3. For row 4, you want to remember to do that movement of going into the top of the stitch, grabbing the yarn and pulling it to the back. And this is where we're going to start our row from. So for row 4, you want to do a single crochet into that same stitch and a chain 1. And for this row, you want to do 2 half double crochets and then an increase. So this is our first one. Then into the next stitch, just 1 half double crochet, and now an increase. So 2 into the same stitch. That's 1 and 2. And that is the row repeat. We're going to do 1 half double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches, and then an increase. So do that until you get to the end of the row, and I will see you when you're there. Okay, so at the end of the row, you should have 40 stitches. So now you can do a slip stitch into the first half double crochet of the row. And now for row 5 and the last row of this coaster, you're going to remember to do that movement of grabbing the hook and going through the same stitch that you're currently in, grabbing the yarn and putting it into your hook and bringing it to the back. So we're going to start from here. We're going to do a single crochet into the first stitch and a chain 1 as usual. And you probably already guessed it. For this repetition, you're going to do 3 half double crochets and then an increase. So that single crochet chain 1 was my first one, then second one, and this is my third. And now I do my increase. So this is the row repeat you want to follow. 1 half double crochet into each of the next 3 stitches, and then an increase. So do that until you get to the end of the row, and I will see you when you're there. Okay, so I'm at the end of row 5 here, and you should have 50 stitches. So now you want to finish it off by doing a slip stitch into the first half double crochet of the row. And that there is the end of the coaster. So you can go ahead and cut this, and leaving a tail so you can weave it in after. Okay, so now you want to bring your green color and do a slip knot. We're going to start by adding the edges to the coaster. You want to bring this yarn onto the coaster. It doesn't have to be where you finish the coaster. It could be any point. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go into a random point, insert my hook into the stitch, and now into the slip knot that I created with the green. And now grab it and pull it through. So now we are going to work at 4 chains. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to skip 2 stitches and then do 1 single crochet. Now you're going to start the row repeat. Essentially, you're just going to do 3 chains. So 1, 2, 3. Skip 2 stitches and then do 1 single crochet into the next. That's the row repetition you want all the way around. Let's do it again. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Skip 2, 1, 2, and then into the next, a single crochet. And so you're adding this kind of railing around, and it'll make sense later because you're going to add your leaves to this. So you repeat this until you get to the end of the row, and I will see you when you're there. Okay, so I'm at the end of the row here, and I only have 1 stitch left. So here you're going to do a chain 2 instead of 3. And then you're going to do a slip stitch into the first chain that you did. So into the first chain, we're just going to slip stitch. And so that there concludes the first row of the leaves. As you can see, you have this cute green now around it with some space to go in between. And now we're going to move on to the leaves. Now we're going to work both the leaves and the base of the flower. So the way this is going to work is we're going to work 3 base of flowers. So the chain spaces, consider them, we'll count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you've got 17. So it's not going to be even, but we're going to work 3 base of flowers and then 1 leaf. Then 3 base of flowers, then 1 leaf. Leaf. Then 3 base of flowers, 1 leaf, and so on. The very last one is actually going to be a base of a flower. So it's not going to be perfect, but it'll look really nice. So for a base of a flower, after the slip stitch you just did, you're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And you're going to be working around the chain space. So we're going to do a half double crochet. And now chain 1. Another half double crochet. Chain 1. Another half double crochet. Chain 1. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Another, the half double crochet. So essentially we want 5 spaces. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And so this very last one, you're just going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And then do a slip stitch into the same chain space. So into the same chain space there, we do a slip stitch. So let me just show you what you did. Basically, you did a chain 3, half double crochet, chain 1, half double crochet, chain 1, half double crochet, chain 1, one final half double crochet, and then a chain 3 and a slip stitch. And so this is just going to be the base of the flower later on, and you'll understand why you need 5 spaces in between there. So now we move on to the next chain space. You can come over with just a slip stitch. So you're going to essentially skip the single crochet here. You're going to skip that. And then you're going to move on to the next chain space with a slip stitch. Just like that. And now we're going to do the same thing. You're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. We'll do this again so you can see what the base of the flower is like. You want a total of 4 half double crochets with a chain in between. And then the final chain 3 and slip stitch. So we're going to do that. We're going to yarn over, go into the chain space with a half double crochet, chain 1, another half double crochet. It's my second one, chain 1, my third half double crochet, chain 1, and now my fourth double crochet. And now we're going to chain 3. So 1, 2, 3. And into the same spot, we do a slip stitch. So let's count. We should have 5 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And so that's basically the base of the flower. That's exactly how you work it. So we're going to do this one more time. We're going to now come to the next chain space with a slip stitch, skipping that single crochet. And now we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and work 4 half double crochets with a chain in between. So that was 1, 2, 3, and my final one, 4. But then now from the fourth half double crochet, we're just going to do 3 chains. 1, 2, 3. And now slip stitch into that same space, chain space, for a third base of a flower. So you can see you have 3 now. Now the next one's going to be a leaf. So for a leaf, you're going to do the same. We're going to move to the next chain space with just a slip stitch, skipping the single crochet. And now that we're there, you just want to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now we're going to skip the first chain, and into the next you're going to work a single crochet, a half double crochet into the same chain, and now a single crochet into the same chain. And this is just going to give you like a cute little leaf. Now onto the next chain, you're going to work a single crochet. And now into the last one, you're going to work a slip stitch. So that's a cute little leaf. And now to bring it back to the chain space, you just want to do a slip stitch around the chain space to complete that. And so just want to show you, this is what the leaf looks like. Once you have it all complete, you'll see that it looks really nice in between the flowers. So that's a leaf. And now you just want to repeat this all the way around. So I'll show you here. You are going to be doing 3 base of a flower, leaf. Then 3 base of a flower, 1, 2, 3, leaf. 1, 2, 3, leaf. 1, 2, 3, leaf. And I believe that you're going to be left with one extra one. So into that one, we're either going to do a leaf or a base of a flower. Depends on what you would rather. I think it's probably best if we just ignore it because it's the shorter one. It's the very last one that we did. But when I get there, I'll see. Maybe I'll just do a leaf. So I'll see you at the end of the row when we are done all of that. Important thing to remember or to know is that once you've done the leaf, to start the next base of a flower, you can just move to the next chain space with a slip stitch. So you slip stitch there, skipping the single crochet, and now you start with your chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And continue the base of the flower like normal. So essentially you move from space to space with a slip stitch. So I just did my very last leaf and I've slip stitched. So now I have that chain 2 space left. And so what I've decided to do, just so it's uniform, I'll just show you what I'm talking about. I have 4 leaves right now, right? 4 leaves and then 4 of the base flowers, like the 4 of the 3 of them, I guess. So I wanted to stay uniform. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to slip stitch into each of the stitches that I have left. So I just slip stitch into the chain space and I have a single crochet and 2 chains left. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slip stitch into the single crochet just to kind of bring it together. And now I'm going to slip stitch into each of the chains that are in the next chain space. So 1 and 2. And then that's that. There's going to be a little bit of a gap here, but it's okay. You won't be able to tell once you've got the flowers and everything going. I'd rather that than add anything else on there. So we're going to do that. And then now we can cut our green yarn, leaving a long tail for weaving. So let's do that. And now we can work on the flower, which is honestly really fun. Let's do that. So now we're going to move on to the flower. I've made one so you can see it, how cute it looks. I worked it into the base of the flower, obviously, so I'll show you how to do that. I'm going to be working with 2 colors. This is like a pastel pink, and then this is a pastel yellow. So you are going to grab your flower color, and you're going to make a slip knot. And now you want to attach this slip knot into the very first space of the base of the flower. You know how you have 5 spaces? So the one between the chain 3 and the first double crochet. You're going to insert your hook there, grab the yarn, and now bring it forward. We're going to start essentially into each of the spaces you want a bubble stitch. So we're going to chain 3 for this first one. And now you're going to work 3 double crochets. So that's 1, 2, and 3. That chain 3 that you did counts as a double crochet for this one. So you're going to go into the chain 3 space now, insert your hook, grab the loop, and now you're going to close that off. And that's a bubble stitch. A popcorn stitch. So now you're going to chain 1. That's how you want to finish it off. So we're going to do that again. Now you're just going to work 4 double crochets. So you yarn over, go into the next space between the double crochets, and into there work 4 double crochets. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And so this last one here, you want to essentially pull up the loop, remove the hook, go into the top of the first double crochet that you made. Go into there, grab that loop, and now close off the popcorn stitch and chain 1. And you want 5 of these total. So that was my second one. I'm going to do one more with you. You move on to the next space and do 4 double crochets into there. So this is my 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Not 5th, just 4. And now you pull up the loop, you go into the first one, insert your hook there, grab the yarn and close off that popcorn stitch. And now you chain 1. So you want to do that 2 more times into the other 2 spaces that you have, and I'll see you when you're there. Okay, so I just finished my 5th popcorn stitch. And as you can see, it kind of brings you around the flower. So it's starting to kind of close it off. Let me move the coaster. So now you see it like this. And so we're going to insert our hook again. And now you want to close it off. So those chain spaces the chain 1 that you worked at the top of the popcorn stitch. So essentially you're going to go into there. So the chain 1 in between popcorn stitch 1 and 2, there should be a little bit of a gap there from that chain 1. And so now you're going to go into there and do a slip stitch to close off this into like a circle. And now we're going to start the petal of the flower. So for that, you want to chain 3. So 1, 2, and 3. Into that same space that you're currently in, you're going to work a double crochet. So double crochet there. And now you want to do another chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And go into the same chain space that you're in with a slip stitch. So that kind of closes off the petal. If you see it from above, this is what it looks like. And that's what you want to do into each one of the spaces. So you're going to start with a chain 3. Now you're going to move on to the next space between the next 2 popcorn stitches. And now there you're going to do a double crochet. And now you're going to chain 3 and go into that spot with a slip stitch. The repetition you want to follow. Well, let's do that one more time together. Chain 3. Go into the next space with a double crochet. And now another chain 3 and slip stitch into that same spot. Let's actually finish it all together. So I have got, let me see, right now a total of 3 petals and I want 5. So let's do chain 3, go into the next space with a double crochet. Now chain 3 and slip stitch into the same spot. That's my 4th petal. And then for the 5th and last, let me see that. We're going to go into the last spot here. You're going to chain 3. And now go into the last spot with a double crochet. A chain 3. And now a slip stitch into that spot. So that there finishes my 5th petal. And it looks like this from above. Cute little flower. And now you can actually, if you'd like to close off this, you'll see that you have this gap here. You can kind of grab any spot of the petal of the popcorn stitch below you here and then do the same into the next popcorn stitch. It doesn't have to be a specific spot. You can kind of just go through them and now do a slip stitch in between them so that they're kind of closed off. And so now you want to cut off your yarn. I'll do chain 1 just to kind of secure it. And then we can cut it off, leaving a tail to weave it in and pull through. Okay, so as you can see, we've added another flower. And so they're just kind of hanging out next to one another. So I'll do one flower into each of the base of the flowers. And that's why you want the leaves in the middle so that it doesn't get super crowded. But they're going to be kind of tight to one another, and that's what you want for them to kind of cinch up once they're together and create that flower bunch that you want in the look. So I'm going to just do my colors kind of spread out. I might do 2 together of the same color and then just play around with the positioning of the colors throughout the flower bases. And repeat that until you're done, and I'll see you then. Say hello to the most beautiful thing you've seen in your life. Check it out. How gorgeous. Obviously, I have 1,000,001 ends to thread through, so we got to work on that, but I want to show you what it looks like with a bunch of flowers on. Adorable. I finished 3 coasters. They're so beautiful. So these are absolutely gorgeous. It even looks really cute if you put it on your head. And so for the second coaster, I did the exact same thing, like this exact same amount of flowers. However, for the third one, I did less flowers because I felt like when you stack them on top of one another, it's already too many flowers with 2. So, so they could kind of individually shine and not look super, super like cinched up. The third coaster, as you can see, has less flowers. Feel free to do as many flowers as you want on the third one. You can do completely full. Let's work on the pot now. So for the pot, you actually want to use your 4mm hook and your cotton yarn. I like to do it with cotton because it's a little bit more structured. And so I like the look of that for a pot. The coasters themselves are acrylic. The pot can be cotton. That's what I like. You can also use acrylic for the pot. It's no problem. Since it'll be stuffed, it's still going to be structured. But personally, I like to use cotton. So go ahead and do a coaster following the same instructions, like a circle following the same instructions as the coasters that you did to get to the base of it. And then I'll see you when you're there. I'm done. So essentially, we're just going to add another row to this. You know how you finish the coaster by doing 3 stitches and then an increase, 3 stitches increase, 3 stitches increase. We're just going to add one more row and do 4 stitches increase. So 4 half double crochets increase, 4 half double crochets increase, 4 half double crochets increase. So do that and I will see you when you're done, and we're going to now make this grow into a pot here, and this is what it looks like. So we have finished the circle, which is going to be the bottom of the pot. And now we're going to work it upwards. We're going to continue to use the half double crochet. And you want to start the very first stitch the same way you have so far. So we remove the hook. We put it into the stitch that we're currently in. Grab the yarn and pull it backwards, because this is going to help you to also avoid a seam. So we've got it there now. And now you're going to start row 7. We're going to do the same thing in the very first one with a single crochet and then a chain 1. That counts as a half double crochet. Oh, actually, no, not like that. Okay. So we just brought it backwards. However, for this row, we're going to work only in the back loop. So essentially, if you see it from above, if you see the top of the stitch, you're going to have those V's, sorry, this way, other way, those V's going this way. So the loop closest to you is the front loop, and then the loop to the back is the back loop. So we're going to be working back loop only. You're going to insert your hook into that one there. For the very first one, you want to do a single crochet chain 1. So we're going to do that together. The back loop is over there. Insert your hook and do a single crochet. And now we're going to chain 1. So moving forward into each of the stitches, you want to do a half double crochet. So we're going to do that, yarn over, go into the back loop only. That's the back loop, not both of them like you normally would. You're just going to do back loop like so. Grab the yarn and pull it through. 3 loops in your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. Let's do that again a few more times so you can see it. Yarn over, go into the back loop only. Grab the yarn and pull it through. 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. Do that again, back loop only, and a half double crochet. So as you can see, a little line starts forming, and so that's going to be when you place the pot, that's going to give a nice little sense of dimension there. And so we do that until you get to the end of the row. You repeat exactly this, go into the back loop only and do 1 half double crochet into each of the stitches. And I'll see you at the end of this row here. I just finished my last half double crochet in the back loop only of the last stitch. And I just want to show you, you'll probably be able to see now that it's kind of going upwards. So we are going to finish off this row by doing a slip stitch into the first half double crochet of the row. So not the single crochet chain 1, but the first half double crochet. Into there we do a slip stitch. And now we're ready to move on to the next row. As I mentioned, we're going to start it as we have each row of this pot. You're going to insert our hook in the back, grab the yarn and pull it through to the back. And now from here, we're going to start. You're going to go back to working into the stitch like normal under both loops. So we're going to do that single crochet chain 1 into the first one. So that's single crochet chain 1. And now we're going to do a half double crochet into each of the stitches of the row. So this is just going under both of the loops like normal. You work 1 half double crochet into each loop all the way, into each stitch all the way around the row. So do that and I will see you at the end of the row. So now you just want to repeat row 8 until you have the desired height of the pot. I will likely do it 3 more times, but I'll leave in writing how many times I end up doing. So I am done here, the heights that I want. So I have a total of, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 rounds for the height of the pot. And now we're going to work 1 row with stitches that are only in the front loop to kind of create the edge of the top. And that will make more sense later. So you don't have to do the whole bringing the hook back and all that, not anymore. For this row, we're just going to chain 1. And now do a half double crochet into the front loop only. So we go into that front loop and with 1 half double crochet into each of the stitches. So I'm going to do a few just to show you what this creates in case you've never done this before. It's going to basically bring the work outwards. So you see how when you work the back loop only, it creates this line. When you work the front loop only, it kind of it creates the line on the inside and it kind of makes it go outward. I feel like you can't really see it from this angle, but you'll notice it if you're doing it yourself. It's going to come out. And so for this row, you just want to do 1 half double crochet into the front loop only of each of the stitches. And I will see you when you're at the end of the row. So I just finished the half double crochets in the front loop only all the way around. And you can finish off by slip stitching to the first stitch. And so now you're going to have something that looks like this. Once you stuff it, it's going to be a lot more structured. And so to be able to close it off, we're going to do another circle like the one that we did to start this. We're just going to do it 1 extra row so it can be the same circumference, I guess, as the top. And then we can stitch it together. So that's the steps we're going to take. You can go ahead and cut off this yarn now. And now we're going to work on the circle. I guess you don't really need the instructions for this. We are basically going to do exactly what we did for the pot coaster base. So do that and I will see you when you have the circumference of the coaster itself. So I just want to show you here. I've basically done the coaster 1 more time. And so essentially I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows. The very last one is 3 half double crochets increase, 3 half double crochet increase, 3 half double crochet increase. Now the point of this is that it's going to go on top of this to close it off. So obviously it's too small right now. I'm going to do 2 more rows. So the next one will be 4 stitches increase. The one after would be 5 stitches increase. And I think that should be the right width. So let's try that. Here we have it. This is now the finalized top of the pot. As I mentioned, I did my last row of 5 half double crochets and then increase. So now I'm just going to slip stitch to the very first half double crochet of the row. And now I'm going to cut my yarn. So now we want to close these two together. I don't love sewing, so I'm just going to slip stitch them together, and I'll show you how I will do it. So essentially into the next stitch, I'm going to insert my hook, and I'm going to insert into one of the stitches of the pot. And now I'm just go under both loops on both sides. And now I'm just going to grab the yarn and do a slip stitch. And do that all the way around. Insert my hook, grab the yarn and slip stitch. I think there's more stitches at the pot, so I'm just going to be careful to make sure that maybe here and there I'll skip a stitch off the pot. So for example, right now I'm going to grab the next one off the top of the circle, skip one of the pot, and then go into the next one. This is not going to be perfect, but again, I feel like this pot is not the most important part of this project. So I'm just going to do this, and then before I close it off, I'm going to stuff it. So I'll show you how to do that when we get there. On the description of the video, I've linked the other crocheters that also created something similar. I've kind of recreated it the way I like it, but I didn't want to take away from them. So you can find those tutorials in the description of this video. I have a gap wide enough to stuff it before I finish it off. So I'm going to do that now. I think this is good enough. I'm going to continue closing it off now, and we'll have a finalized pot. There's no better feeling than that last stitch that you got to do, and then you can cut off your yarn. It's supposed to kind of lay flat at the top, and then that give you like a bit of an edge.